Good morning, welcome to Something Saturday. So today I thought we would check out, doesn't tell you what it is on the back, this new kit that I bought. So I confess that I have had to open it because I knew it had an aqua painter in it, so it needed that filling up before I actually started doing anything. Just bear in mind with the aqua painters that they screw off and on the wrong way, in my mind at least. So rather than, you would expect it to unscrew this way, it unscrews that way and it screws back up that way. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who thinks it feels like it's the wrong way, and I am sure there's a reason behind it, I just don't know it. So in this particular kit you have some pencils. Watercolor pencils. That's very convenient, seeing as we have a water painter or an aqua painter. Water painter, aqua painter, not sure, can't remember whether it's called a water painter or an aqua painter. I think it's called a water painter now, and it used to be an aqua painter. So I'm just gonna move these around so we can see exactly what we've got here. We have Flirty Flamingo, Garden Green, Pumpkin Pie, Berry Burst, Daffodil Delight, Red, Early Espresso and Coastal Cabana. So that is the ones that they've given us there. And then we have this. And that's it. Oh, no, that's not it. But wait, there's more. There's an instruction leaflet. Always a good thing. Oh, my bin's right over the other side of the room. That's a bit inconsiderate of it. Who put it over there, honestly? Right. Nature's Paintings Kit is what this is called. And we have lots of different designs, and it tells you examples of what you can do with it, or how you can paint. And we will go ahead and look at all the designs in it. So this is really pretty, actually. You could almost use that on something as well. Oh, look at that. That is in fact the first one. So that is design number 1, and you've got 2 of those. Then you've got this one. That's pretty. 1, 2 of those. Really lovely thick cardstock. Oh, not quite that thick actually. I was going, gee, that's really thick. Apparently when you do 2 of them at once, it's really thick. Let's just pop that over there. And then we've got 2 of these little ones with the rose hippie sort of things there. And oh, poppies. I love poppies. I reckon I should do that one. Poppies. And then, oh my goodness, apparently I need a sleep. I have absolutely no idea what these round ball things are. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell me. Maybe it's like those, those things that you blow on and then they... I know what I mean. Excellent, 2 of those. 2 of the leaf ones. Oh, that's a pretty one. Oh, I like that. 2 of those. I think we've got the hang of this. We're getting 2 of each now. 2 little, I want to say they're pansies. They may or may not be pansies. Sunflowers, excellent. Sunflowers are good. Let's go with the nuts. Oh, look, we could be squirrels. That would be really cute, wouldn't it, to put a squirrel on there. And then the sycamore, whatever's they're called. Oh, that looks quite Christmassy, poinsettias. And then, interesting, so they've actually given you a couple of pieces of just plain watercolour paper at the end of it. I wonder if there's a reason behind that. Doesn't seem to indicate any particular reasoning. Interesting. And I'm pretty sure if you scanned the code on this, then you would be able to watch detailed instructions for this kit when you scan this QR code. Learn stamping basics when you scan this QR code. Apparently it's 2 different codes. They do look marginally different as well, so there you go. All right. I said I like poppies. Let's find that poppy one. And we will attack the poppies. Let's make sure I'm only going for 1. We'll go for 1. Pop. Alrighty. Well, in my mind, poppies are red. And some green. Maybe a little bit of brown. Oh, goodness me. Wowzers. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a bit of colour to this. So I recommend, if you want it darker, that you just add more. So potentially, if I want this to look really dark down the bottom, but I don't want it to be dark up the top. And again, I kind of feel like that should be dark. And potentially, you know, you're going to go, that one's sort of sitting underneath. I always get stuck with doing this sort of thing because I sort of like have all this ideas of what should be a lot darker than other areas, and then I go, oh, and yeah, no, that then blends straight into the area above it, which I also kind of want it dark. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet now and just speed up the video slightly. Oh no, actually no, I'm not. Just when you thought you were safe to come out. Okay, I'm just going to show you quickly how to use this. So at the moment, all I've literally done is just added water. So you just, let's just do that. And you literally run that under the tap until it's full, and you'll be able to see there's a bit of water in there. And then you add it back on, screwing it the wrong way. Then you kind of, when you do this sort of thing, you want a piece of tissue or something alongside of you, because then you can see where the water is actually coming out. And just push on either side. Oh, and clearly we have water. There we go. So now I'm just going to use that and move. Okay, round 2. Having got interrupted in the middle of the video, I kind of figured I would cut out part of it, and I would actually just show you how I'm doing this, because I realised that there's several different techniques to be able to watercolour it in, and yeah, after having had a little bit of a play with each technique, I thought, oh, well, maybe I should show you guys what I'm doing. I know, who would have thought? Okay, so you can see I've actually gone ahead and coloured one in, and I've used varying different techniques to do this. So what I have discovered is that if you add like a little drop of water there and a double drop of water here, ooh, that's big, wow, come on, thank you. You can then use the pencil and actually colour in your drop of water, so that you end up, so if you use a small drop of water and you use a lot of the pencil, then you'll actually find that you get a dark colour. And if you use a drop of water and you use not quite so much pencil, as you can see, you'll end up with something that's not quite so dark. So that actually ended up being my preferred way of doing this. So potentially with that, you could then start off with a lighter colour and sort of do a bit of a wash over the whole thing. And just do it like this. And when I say over the whole thing, I literally mean over the whole flower. And I know I'm not being too specific with that because I'm then going to go back in and add more colour. So then you can go to the darker colour and you can just add in sort of strokes of it where you feel it needs to go. Which that, as I say, has ended up being my preferred method of doing this actually. I think it's quite a nice method of doing it. It gives you sort of the darker areas where you need them and leaves the rest of it kind of lightish, which to be honest is probably the way that I would also use the stamping blends, the alcohol markers. I usually do it in kind of quite a similar way, to be perfectly honest. So I'll just carry on with this one. I will go quiet for a minute while I finish this one off and you can see what it looks like. So you can see that I've just gradually added and added and added colour. And the cool thing with this is because it's watercolour cardstock, you can just keep adding and adding to it. So, so that gives you an idea of what I've done there. And then potentially if you don't feel like it's dark enough, you could just add in some with the actual pencil itself and just darken it up even more. So I could just do that and make sure that that's really dark in there, and then you might want to just go over and get rid of those extra lines that are there. And I don't know if you noticed that I was doing this throughout the video. I may not have been actually, but it's a good way to clean off your brush. Make sure that you have a tissue beside you and you just clean off your brush and you just give it a bit of a squeeze every so often. I quite often, just to make sure there's still water on there, I can feel it when it's on the back of my hand. So that's why I quite often do it that way. Okay, so now I think that is my favourite way of colouring in. But there are other ways. So potentially what you could do, I'm going to move on to the garden green, is you can actually take your aqua painter straight to the paint tip and paint from there. So this potentially could give you, if I could manage to do it right, sort of lines that you might want, just, you know, a few like lines or whatever like that. So you can do it that way. Obviously you can also take this and colour directly onto your cardstock with this. And then use your aqua painter, which apparently mine keeps drying out. Just use the aqua painter to move the paint around on it. And move it around like that. The other thing you can do is you can also create like a little paint palette sort of thing. So what you want to do is draw yourself a box on a bit of scrap paper, and then you can just pick up colour from there and colour directly onto here. So I guess it's kind of like one of those I don't know whether you can still buy them anymore, but when I was a kid, we used to have these little boxes, and they had these little dried up paint pot thingy things in them. They weren't paint pots. They were just like little, I guess trays, or they were only tiny, and they had the colour in it, and it was all dried up, and you just added a bit of water to it. Can't say I've really looked around for them. So, but I'm guessing it would be sort of similar to that type of thing. Okay, I'm gonna just have to go back to my original. There it is. Feel like this needs a little bit more behind there. And I think that was all I could think of at the moment to do. So you've got four different ideas. 1, 2, direct to paper, and from this to the paper. So 4 different ideas of ways to use this, or ways to use water painters. Oh my goodness, Heather. These things, pencils, water pencils. Okay, forever known as water pencils now. And your water painter. And I was looking at this and thinking, actually, it would be kind of nice if I could get a couple of cards out of this. So I could cut it so that I've got one thing there, and then on this side, I reckon it would look kind of pretty if I did that as one, and potentially that could be another one, and maybe use those pieces in with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this off. I'm going to have a bit of a play around with it and get it onto a couple of cards, put it over onto my blog so you can actually check it out. Thank you for coming and putting up with me again today, and just come and join me next week. If you've enjoyed this, share the love, and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.